What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Speed Career Mode in MotoGP 20. And it's been a while, but I've been really busy this August. I've had some reasons to why I haven't been able to do as many videos as I would like, or actually no videos at all. But we are back, and there's gonna be a lot of these coming out very fast. So just keep in mind, I have been playing the game. It doesn't mean, just because I haven't been putting out videos doesn't mean I haven't been playing the game. So obviously, we're looking good in the championship right now. We have a decent lead. I think that's like 35-point lead, or actually 45-point lead. So we're looking really good heading into one of my personal favorite tracks, which is Catalunya. I've always loved this track. I've said that plenty of times in this series so far. And I think it's definitely one of those where we can go out there and expect to at least compete for a win. We don't always have to expect a win, or, it's not necessarily going to happen, but you can always expect us to be competing in tracks like this, like Mugello, Sachsenring, etc. So it is one of my goals to make sure that Bubba wins in Catalunya this season. I don't remember what we did there last season, but we definitely want to win there this year, especially because in the Moto2, I feel a lot more confident. I feel like I can actually compete pretty much every single track. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a track that I'm good or trash at. It's just like, for some reason, I feel very confident on this bike, and it's probably because it's one of the best bikes on the entire grid. To be completely fair to everybody else. So that always helps, but definitely if we do go to MotoGP, I don't think that's going to be the case. It's going to be a lot more of a struggle. Also, we'll be upgrading the difficulty if we're able to win this championship. I think it's at like 90 right now. Whether or not we'll upgrade it by 5 or 10, I guess remains to be seen. But we will be upgrading no matter what if we're able to win this title. Going through the final turn, that's actually pretty good for my standards. I'm not the best at that turn for some reason. And this last sector is kind of like, I'm not really going to say it's the bane of my existence, because I do sometimes gain a lot of ground there, but it's not the one that I'm the best at. This turn right here, I do actually usually gain a little bit. That time ran wide, hit the dirt, which is something I essentially am either really fast through that sector, or I hit the dirt and blow it and crash. So it's kind of like it's an issue, it's just kind of one of those where it's hit or miss, and we have qualified ninth, so definitely not a good position to be starting in. That is way, that's way worse than I would have hoped. But it was, to be fair, a bad lap, and overall a very bad qualifying session. Ninth, we're under half a second off of first place though, so we aren't too far. We're far, but we aren't so far to where we have no chance of winning this race. We're still starting in ninth, going with hard tires, just because for me personally, I don't know, it gives me more guarantees, and I do kind of feel like that's a necessity for me. Also going with a completely full fuel tank, because that also gives me a lot more confidence that I can actually go the entire race and not have to worry about losing too much fuel, and not having to worry too much about my fuel consumption, like going to 2 to 1. It is a distraction if you don't do it the way, or sorry, actually I should probably just have it set up to 1, because 2 is technically for qualifying. But I don't know, it's the way I like to do it. It's what I've liked to do, not just in terms of, for the tension for the race, but also in terms of, just actual performance. I feel like it's what works best for me when I've tried different things. It hasn't quite gone as well. So, I don't know. You guys probably let me know what you think, and it'll probably be a little bit different, but that's what I'm going to go with, and that's what I'm going with, that's what I'm going to continue to go with for the time being. Right now we're in 8th position, so we've only gained 1 position. But we will definitely be coming out of this corner. Alright, never mind. I was expecting to go up to 5th or 6th in that corner, but unfortunately we're back down to 9th. Not looking too good here, because I don't know. I just don't feel like I have the confidence on the bike in this particular race. I don't understand the reason for it. It's because it's one of my favorite tracks. I've been feeling really good all season, but it's just not really working out right now. But the important thing is to keep ourselves right there with Schroeder, who I believe is all the way up there in 1st position. So we need to try to get up there ASAP, but also don't make any dumb mistakes that can cost us, getting at least, we essentially want to get at least 15 points, or 14 I guess is the minimum, because it's 25, 20, 16, 14. So, you know what I mean? Like, we want to get as much as possible, obviously. And there is a certain minimum we want to keep up with, and obviously being back, making that huge mistake could go on to cost us. It's still a long race to go, but we're making some mistakes early on, and that's going to be a problem. Usually I like to go with Power 2 to start off the race, because I feel like it gets the fuel tank down enough to where the bike is maneuverable, and it feels light, but with the right amount of fuel to last the race. This time I'm trying to go with 1, seeing if it maybe helps to keep more fuel at the beginning of the race and then go as hard as we can towards the end. So it is kind of a change in style and a change of strategy. I just want to see what happens. Obviously, we have a bit of a point advantage, so we don't have to worry too much about being caught, but it is a bit of a risk considering how well we've done over the season, and changing up midway when you've been so successful is always a risk, but we'll see. You never really should fix what's not broken, and that's kind of what we're trying to do right now. And I don't know, a test is okay, especially because it's a track where I feel like, if worse comes to worse and we go down to 2 or up to 2, we should be fine. I feel confident that we're at least going to get 5th position. That's not something I'm too worried about. It's just a matter of, does Schroeder win the race, or and gain a lot of points, or do we actually get ourselves up there to where we can only lose, maybe 5 to 10 points, which wouldn't be too bad. Would not be too bad. So let's see what happens here. Navarro, who we don't usually see up here, I think he crashes pretty often. We almost got a penalty there. Coming out of the turn, I was looking like we were going to come out of it pretty hot and get a good drive, but unfortunately it wasn't really meant to be. Almost an endo pulling out of there. Actually, a really, really solid job coming out of that corner. It's a shame that we bumped into Navarro's rear tire, because that did force us to kind of pick it up and let off the gas. I think that if we'd have stayed full throttle coming out of there, we definitely would have gotten a great drive and potentially could have gone all the way up to 4th. Or sorry, not up to 4th, up to 5th. But it is what it is. Dropped down to 8th temporarily. And Navarro has pulled a little bit of a gap on us, but I think that we definitely have him where we want him to be. The important thing is to not make any mistakes. At this point in the season, and I know it's kind of a cliche, but it is true. If we just race our race and do what we got to do, then we're going to be fine, because we are definitely faster than pretty much everybody. We can go a bit harder on the brakes into there. So this is where we start to gain a lot early on in the track, coming out of this wide. So we're going to actually lose a little bit of ground over Navarro there, but right here, I feel like if we can just get on the gas right now, hit the throttle, we can definitely get a nice drive out of here. Set ourselves very nicely to get on his ass going into this right-hander, and we come in too hot. So making a lot of mistakes here, and that's something that I don't like to see, obviously, because it's important to just be consistent, and I know what we can do. That's the thing. I know exactly what we can do on this track, and it's just not really working out. Everything we try just kind of seems to fail, and it hasn't been the best. Going on the inside of Navarro, trying to get ourselves close to Bastianini. Definitely feeling a lot more confident on power 2, with the bike being a little bit lighter. Gives us better acceleration coming out of the corners. We can actually have more maneuverability through the corners. I just feel like it's setting ourselves very nicely for the end of this race. And you can really tell that I'm rusty with these commentaries, can't you, man? Like, I don't think I can explain to you guys how difficult it is to go from doing commentaries every single day for multiple types of videos to all of a sudden doing, one after, I think it was almost 20 days on the dot. So, I don't know. It's not something I would expect to be that would have a rust factor, but I'm definitely feeling very rusty and feeling very out of it right now. So, it might be because a lot of stuff's on my mind. It's just, I don't know, I just feel like I'm not doing as good of a job. I'm going to release it anyway, because you have to start somewhere. You have to get back up and build up a rhythm, and you have to start doing it, even if you do, if you're not necessarily 100% happy with your results. But that's just kind of how it has to be, especially because time is such a factor right now, to where I don't necessarily have a lot of time to, edit things to the way the level and quality that I would like. But my videos aren't necessarily the best as it is anyway. Like even my best video probably isn't that great. So I'm not gonna be too worried about it right now. We're up to 5th position, probably about to be 4th. Jeez, Fernandez is pissed, staring us down. Bubba goes around the outside, and now he's on Martin's ass, looking like he's gonna pass him now, dude. See if we can actually get through this battle with Fernandez, who is fighting. I will say that. We're gonna dive inside of him. Pause. Try to go under Martin. Definitely a huge mistake there. Could have ended up in a crash for both of us. But we're trying to push to get towards Schroeder, who is up in 1st position. I can confirm that. Bezzecchi's looking pretty good too, and we had the fastest lap in the last lap. So we just have to kind of, like I said, that's always the big thing, is just be smart, be consistent, be smooth, and we have it. It's like that. There's no doubt about that. We are the fastest team on this on the grid at this point in time. So we just have to do our thing and not make huge mistakes. Like right now, we're making big mistakes that are costing us positions. Like there is no reason why we should be fighting with Fernandez for 4th position when we could definitely be up there with Schroeder. And I do feel like we're still in with a chance of doing so. Just have to be a lot more gentle on the gas and be a bit more intelligent with where we make our moves, because right now we're just trying to be too aggressive and trying to force things, which is not something you want to do either in racing or with women. Let's just keep that in mind. So as we're going to go ahead and brake, going around. Alright, that was a weird little thing to throw in there, but you know, you never know. Johan Zarco probably has that problem. I'm not accusing him of being a rapist, but I am saying he definitely needs to measure distance and understand when things are just simply not going to happen or simply not doable, because he almost killed both Maverick Vinales and Valentino Rossi in the span of one single turn. So he definitely needs to work on that, just like many a person needs to work on their abilities of understanding when no means no. Kind of like Kobe Bryant. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that because yesterday was Kobe Day, and I am not a fan of Kobe. Regardless of whether he died or not, that does not change. Do not rest in peace, Kobe. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go after this 3rd position. A lot of you guys are probably pissed off. Most of you probably are. A lot of just random casuals that don't understand what Kobe Bryant was. Schroeder is actually way back there. Watch out. For some reason, I was convinced that Schroeder was top, but that might be our rival Thomas fucking Luthi. Is that Thomas Luthi up there? Holy shit, it's a great bike. If that's Thomas Luthi, I'm gonna be pissed. We can't allow that guy to win a race. Okay, it's Baldassarre. It's our teammate. All right, that's fine. For some reason, to me, it looked like it was a great bike. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and claim to have good eyes. My eyes are apparently mush now, just like my brain. So I've been saying way too many things that I should not be saying in this video, but I will leave it as it is because, of course, to my core group of friends, that will be kind of funny. Of course, so there we go. Hit the grass. Like I said, hit the dirt. Either we come out of it nicely or we hit the dirt. So that's going to be a huge factor, or potentially will be a huge factor in this final lap. Either try to draft as much as possible here. Baldassarre is in 1st position. And Bezzecchi, see if we can get past him as well. Oh, that was stupid. That was stupid. Bumped into him. Apologizing. Fair enough. Pulling a Johan Zarco there. Almost killed poor Bezzecchi. Baldassarre is looking like he's a little bit too far ahead of us. 2.66, which is definitely far away. Not looking like we can actually do anything about him winning the race, but that's not a big deal. That is not something we need to focus on, because he's not even a threat to the title, realistically. The only person I consider a threat to the title right now is Schroeder, and he is down there in like 6th position or something like that, so we definitely have what it takes. But there you go, Jorge Martin crashes. That's something that happens pretty often, and we have nothing to do with it. So Jorge Martin has crashed out, which means that Schroeder will gain a position. He might actually get all the way up to 3rd. It looks like I saw a great bike back there. It's us, Bastianini. Not quite sure who's behind him. Wouldn't be surprised to see him gaining a lot of positions and making it a little bit more difficult for Bubba as we head into the final sector. Still feeling like, you know, the 2nd place is definitely ours unless we get a major penalty just to come out of this corner correctly. Coming out of it pretty well. A little bit wide, but nothing that's going to cost us too much. The wheelie was actually more of an issue. Coming out of the right-hander a little bit wide, but still can close. Went on the throttle way too hard, costing us big time. It's going to give them a good chance of actually gaining on us. There's 2 guys right there now. Coming out of it nicely, at least, you know, defending our line, not making a huge mistake, not hitting the dirt. We're going to go, oh, and we crash out. We crash out in the final corner. That is karma for roasting in an uncalled for fashion. Kobe Bryant, we just killed 2 more people. Dalla Porta. Completely uncalled for. Look at people crashing over the finish line. It looks like we finished like 9th position. There you go. We qualified 9th. We finished 9th. Hugely disappointing result there. Marcel Schroeder had the best lap of the race with a 45.824. He finished 7th. If we'd have finished 2nd here, man, we would have gained a lot. We would have extended our lead by quite a bit. So we also finished behind Thomas Luthi, which is not something we want to see because he is our main rival from a humanitarian point of view. And we only gained a few points here. That's very disappointing, considering we were solid pretty much the entire race. And we only ended up in 9th position. We maintain our status as the best team on the grid with a nice 109-point gap, which is, you know, I mean, we're looking really good to win at least the team championship. I feel like we're probably going to win the actual Riders Championship too. Feeling very confident about that. And as you can see, this is the end of the race. Going to be some funny some funny scenes as people start crashing out behind us. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. And there we go, we crash out. Like I said, man, I'm really sorry for the commentary not being up to par as my usual standards, which aren't necessarily amazing as it is, but hopefully, and I know for a fact it will improve as we move forward and watch a bunch of people tumble. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.